one man and once a lipstick, so my damn water. Hey, I'm pitting a home, I'm getting a home, I'm feeling a home, so I'm tearing a home. My pen and so cementing at the home, it's gonna drop a complaint. She be fresh like a new bow. I'm on a new ten and new bow. Now I'm a move you new bow. I'm down, flow king, stone. I say me a no pay, me a no pay. I say me a no pay, me a no pay. I say me a no pay, me a no pay. I say me a no pay, me a no pay. Mora mara kabonyere kakwe ololo. Mora mara kabonyere kakwe ololo. Mora mara kabonyere kakwe ololo. I say me a no pay, me a no pay. I say me a no pay, me a no pay. I say me a no pay, me a no pay. I say me a no pay, me a no pay. Oh baby amenya, for your bash your coat. Oh baby amenya, on se le big face on the baby eye. Shende wa meka, don't see my skin. Na kume mo fita, on si on the ane ko. Ono kwane makoma, ya kunye, ya laloto. Ono kwane, on the baby amepe. Ono kwane makoma, ya kunye, ya laloto. Ono kwane, on the baby amepe.
One man army, 2017. At the episode, one man army. You have a million friends on social media, but in a real life it's just you. They must susu, and now watch you. Still I wonder you got and go through. On a one man army, now we see them come road, ya bota, ya mashida. One man army, we there forever and ever and ever and ever. On a one man army, now we see them come road, ya. But ya mashida, on a one man army. See we there forever and if you wanna know your real friend, then me brother, just pretend you dead. Don't introduce your friend them to your man, my sister. Cause the next thing she end up in bed. We still a chance, Babylon must fall. So the question is what time and where. So don't you put your trust in no one but Jaja, like Daniel in the lion's den. The one man army. Now we see them come road, ya both Jaja, Mashida. One man army.
All right, thank you all for tuning in to WJC 98.3 FM, your voice and music, your station. My name is Jeff Badu, and I'm a serial entrepreneur and a wealth multiplier. I'm the founder and CEO of Badu Enterprises LLC, which is a multinational conglomerate in the finance industry. And essentially what we do is we provide a suite of financial services, such as tax preparation, tax planning, financial consulting, services of that nature. So today we'll be talking about building wealth tax-free. So we'll be going over components of how to build wealth tax-free, essentially. And today we'll be trying something a little different, just to spice it up a little bit. Big thank you to everyone for tuning in on Facebook. We're actually about to stream this on Instagram now as well, just so we have more followers. The more people that are listening to this, the better. The more we can get the word out, the merrier. So we'll be streaming this live, essentially on Facebook, and then also if Instagram decides to work, we'll go ahead and stream it on Instagram as well. But definitely thank you guys for tuning in. WGAC 98.3 FM, your voice of music, your station. Today we'll be talking about how to build wealth tax-free. So how to live a tax-free lifestyle. Everything that I'll cover is essentially to help you in building tax-free wealth. So this is very important topic. Highly recommend you guys take advantage of this. Big shout out to everyone who's tuned in now to our Facebook Live. Big thank you to those that are listening. This is a show, Money Talks, where all we talk is money. We talk nothing else but money. And today's topic is on building wealth tax-free. So before we do that, let's kick it off with the market report. This report is as of January 31st, 2020. Investors continue to be rattled by the growing concern over the spread of the coronavirus, pulling money from stocks for the second week in a row. So this is a great time to buy stocks if you were an investor. Each of the benchmark indexes fell, led by the small caps of the Russell 2000, which lost close to 3% for the week. The Dow closed the week down more than 600 points, while the S&P 500 dropped more than 2.0%. The Global Dow also gave back almost 3% in value by the close or last week's end. Only the NASDAQ lost less than 2%, but not by much. Closing the week down by 1.76%. As stock values plummeted, long-term bond prices soared, pushing yields significantly lower. Oil prices dropped from $54.21 per barrel to $51.61 per barrel. The price of COMEX gold went up $15.70 to $15.92.70. So essentially, that's essentially what happened in the market this past week. The Dow Jones so far this year is down 99.99%. NASDAQ is still up 1.99%. So NASDAQ, which is composed mainly of technology stocks, is up 1.99%. S&P 500 is down 0.16%. Russell 2000 is down 3.26%. And the Global Dow is down 2.75%. 10-year treasuries are down 39 basis points. So basically what happened was that investors are afraid because of the coronavirus that's in China right now and across the world basically now. They're scared. They're fearful. Whenever somebody's fearful, that's when you should be buying. You should be taking advantage. Use the information to your advantage. So this is a great time to buy because everybody's scared of this coronavirus that's going around. It's an epidemic that's going around. And I mean, other than the virus itself, I'll tell you, I'm not scared of the markets. What goes down must come right back up. So it's a great time to buy. If you haven't invested this year or thought about investing, this would be the great time. There's never the right time, but this is a great time. I can tell you that much. So the stock market overall is down this year, except for NASDAQ. But I mean, we'll be picking up. I mean, I have no doubt that we'll be doing pretty good this year. Now let's get into the meat of the presentation. So there are plenty of ways to build wealth tax-free. Plenty. Thousands of ways. And today I'm going to cover just a few of the popular ones, the big ones you should take advantage of. And before you make any financial decision, always consider the tax implications of such decision. I have a personal goal of living a tax-free retirement. I don't ever want to pay taxes in retirement. That's just the goal that I've set for myself and for my family, because I believe that money can have better utility. It can be better utilized in my hands, where I can do things with it, whether I'm investing it, donating, doing whatever I want with it, as opposed to the government's hands. I'll be the first to say that I don't trust the government with my money personally. But there are plenty of ways to build wealth tax-free. Now, one way is to ensure you are saving for retirement the proper way. Right? So you need to make sure that you are saving for retirement the proper way. And by this, it simply means that you're taking advantage of these after-tax or these tax-advantaged accounts. So essentially, you can utilize a Roth 401k account, which Roth means after-tax contributions, or you can use a Roth IRA. You can use both, Roth 401k and then Roth IRA. So the goal, if you're doing a Roth 401k, then please ensure that you are contributing the maximum match allowed to the Roth 401k. Sometimes they only allow you to do pre-tax towards your match, so you would do that, and then anything after that would be on a Roth or after-tax basis. After that, please make sure you max out your Roth IRA. Max it out in full, $6,000 per person per year. No brainer. Just max it out. Put the money in there. Let it grow over time, and then take it out when the time is right, tax-free. It is recommended that you save at least 10% for retirement, but nowadays you need to save at least 20%. So I recommend you save at least 20% of your gross income. So if you make $100,000 a year as your salary, you should be saving at least $20,000 for retirement through some of these accounts, whether it's a traditional retirement account or it's one of these more advanced real estate, life insurance type of plans. And then, so this will, if you're maxing out your Roth or your IRA account, this will allow you to accumulate money tax-free, along with withdrawing the money tax-free after the age of 59 and a half. This is a huge benefit. Next is to utilize a health savings account, or an HSA. This is one of my favorite accounts in the world. You can put money in an HSA pre-tax, right? Accumulate money tax-free, and withdraw the money tax-free. No such account exists. This is basically a triple tax benefit. So it's a very, very good account to have, because you can put in the money and you'll get a check back, cash back I call it, a return on investment directly from the IRS, saying, hey, thank you for your contribution, here's a $1,000 check, just for putting money into your own health savings account. The money grows tax-free, so you can invest it in stocks, bonds, mutual funds, whatever it is you decide to invest in. And when you take the money out, you don't ever have to pay any taxes on it. So this is a huge benefit right here. Love this account to death. It is the first account that I max out every single year. I personally maxed mine out about, I believe, 3 weeks ago. It was like the first or second week of January. I can't exactly recall. But just max it out. Go ahead and max it out and take full advantage of this. It's not a retirement account, but you treat it as if it was a retirement account. Love the HSA. Love, love, love the HSA. You should definitely take advantage of it. We got a few listeners here. Shout out to Jerry. Shout out to Walte. And we have a few others. Stanley. Let's see. Derek. Waddell. Yawanda. Yeah, we got quite a few people listening. So definitely thank you guys for tuning in. Please feel free to share it. Blast it out to people. Share it. Like it. Love it. Do whatever, just to get the word out to people, because this is very important information. This is much better than the cat videos that you see on Facebook. And unfortunately, our Instagram Live wasn't able to go live today, but we will definitely incorporate that moving forward. It's just the phone that we have is just given some technical difficulties, so due to the shortage of time, we'll just defer that until next week. For those that are listening now, we are of course live on the radio, 98.3 FM. If you're here in Chicago, you can go to wghcfm.org to listen to it online. You can also catch it live on our Facebook page, Facebook Jeff Badu Wealth Multiplier. You can catch it live right there. So we were talking about living a tax-free retirement, or tax-free life, basically. And we mentioned one of the ways is to utilize a Roth 401k or IRA account, and then also an HSA or health savings account. Now, the key with the HSA is to never touch the money in the HSA until your retirement. This is extremely important, because the money is growing tax-free. Money that grows tax-free has a huge benefit, a humongous, ginormous benefit. It means that every dollar you earn is no longer taxed. It's tax-free. Big time. And then definitely do not use the HSA for non-medical expenses to avoid any unnecessary taxes, penalties. There's a 20% penalty if you use it for non-medical expenses before the age of 65. Max it out, $35.50 now, the contribution limit for 2020. You can also go back in time to 2019 and contribute up to $3,500 per person in your family. I highly recommend you take advantage of this. It is a beautiful account. If you have a spouse, make sure to dump money into their HSA. Me personally, I'm getting married this year, so definitely will be dumping money into my spouse's HSA and Roth IRA, assuming that the contributions haven't hit the maximum yet. So this is great. This is awesome stuff. These are just 2 ways so far to live a tax-free retirement. Now, other ways are to obtain a permanent or a cash value life insurance policy. With the cash value life insurance policy, basically what happens is that you're putting in money. Let's just say you're putting in $100 a month, which covers you $100,000 of the death benefit. You still keep the death benefit. If something bad happens to you, basically the beneficiaries receive the $100,000. So let's say it's $100,000. You're 25 years old, and the money, when you put the $100 a month into the policy, a certain amount, let's say $80 a month, gets invested into the stock market, perhaps the S&P 500. And they have accounts called the Index Universal Life Insurance Policy, my favorite one personally, which indexes it to the market. S&P 500 has grown about 9% over time in the past years. And basically with this, there's a cap. So the max you can earn on a policy like this is about 15%, which is still pretty good. But then there's a floor of between 0 to 1%, meaning you literally cannot lose your investment in this policy. You cannot lose your investment. You cannot lose money from an investment standpoint. You can only gain money. So this is a great policy to have, especially great for the young ones, newborn babies. Excellent type of policy. This is what I usually recommend to my clients as a financial strategy and as a tax strategy. Of course, we do run a life insurance agency or life insurance brokerage where we can meet, it's called Badu Life and Health Solutions. We can help meet all your life insurance needs. Great one. I mean, popular options for cash value life insurance or permanent life insurance are whole life insurance and universal life insurance. I'm a big proponent when it comes to universal life because of those protections and the flexibility. Whole life is you get what you see, you get what you pay for type of thing. So yeah, money accumulates in the account, and you can start withdrawing the money tax-free. Basically, you take out a loan against yourself. It's a formal way of doing it. You take out a loan against yourself in your own policy, pay your own self back the interest in retirement. Highly recommend using this as a retirement strategy. And they have ones called the bank funded retirement plan or premium financing, where the bank would fund your premiums up to 100%. So just like you buy a property, a bank gives you 75% of the purchase amount. They can do the same thing here. In this case, they can do it no money down, or it's 100%. Beautiful, beautiful strategy. Love cash value life insurance. When I found out about it, I said, wow, this is powerful. I need to get this to my clients, get this to my people. Very powerful stuff right there. So money can accumulate significantly in these accounts. I mean, I ran an illustration for somebody, $250 a month. By the time they're 65, they would have about $800,000 in the account. This was for a 25-year-old. Powerful type of policy. Money accumulates. It's called the time value of money, or compound interest. Money that grows on top of more money. Albert Einstein once said, compound interest is the most powerful force on the universe. And it is extremely powerful. It's the most powerful thing I've ever seen in my life. So those are 3 of the traditional ways to build wealth tax-free. You have the Roth IRA and or the 401k account. You can have both. You can use a health savings account or HSA. And then you can also use a cash value life insurance policy. When you take the money out of a life insurance policy, it's tax-free if you do it the right way. And by the way, if you're a business owner, you have access to these accounts too. You're not counted out. As a matter of fact, you have more access than anybody else on this planet. Now, another way is through my favorite. This is one I'm a big proponent of. 9 out of 10 millionaires got there through this way. It's through real estate. Love real estate. I love real estate more than any other asset on the planet. It is the greatest asset ever created on this God-given planet. Think about what you're standing on right now. You're standing on real estate. And unfortunately for most people, you're standing on somebody else's real estate. I'm proud to say when I stand most days, I'm standing on my own real estate. I'm standing on something that I own. I can call my own. Can you imagine owning what you stand on? That's very, very powerful. One who owns the land that you stand on controls the land. He can tell you to vacate the land. He can tell you to evacuate. He can tell you to leave. He can tell you so many things, but when you own that land, nobody can tell you anything because it is yours. It is your land. Assuming you've been paying your property taxes, your mortgage, and all that good stuff. So it's your land. It's your world. All that good stuff. This is for you. Now, with this strategy, this is something that nobody ever told me when I got started in real estate. I highly recommend that you buy a 3 to 4 unit with a fairly low down payment, 3.5%, and the government has programs, down payment assistance programs, that allow you to subsidize that down payment in full sometimes. With closing costs, you can ask for a closing credit from the seller, and the seller usually grants you the closing credit. And even ask the lender for a closing credit. There's so many ways to buy real estate, no money down, but this is the best way to get started in real estate with low to no money down. Of course, and sometimes they even include the repairs as part of the loan. If you're doing a hard money, or if you're doing a 203k loan through a traditional lender, you live in one of the units, or you Airbnb it, wink wink, and acquire tenants for the other units so that they can be paying your mortgage for you and help you build wealth over time, tax-free. Tenants will ultimately be paying your mortgage for you, building you wealth, increasing your equity in the home, allowing you to do the things that you want to do in your life. Once the home appreciates in value, you refinance it, right? You refinance it, and then you pull out the equity tax-free. Tax-free. You can buy another home with it. You can go on vacation. I don't recommend that. You can do whatever you want with this money. It's your money. It's your equity. You can usually borrow about, I believe it's 95% of the value of the home. So you'll get an appraisal. Whatever the appraisal comes back, take 95% of that. Subtract out your mortgage, and that's the cash you can have in your bank account. Highly recommend that you use this strategy to buy other properties, so that you can accumulate wealth at a much faster pace. So yeah, you use the money to acquire more properties. They call it the BRRRR method. You buy, you rehab. Now with FHA, you don't have to rehab the property. You can buy it clean, so you can skip the second R or the first R. You buy, you rehab, you rent, refinance, and then you repeat. You buy the property, you rehab the property, you rent the property to a tenant, you refinance the property, and then you repeat. It can be done within 30 to 90 days or so. It can be quick, or it can take a long time. So imagine if you're doing that every year. You don't have to pay a single penny in income taxes. If we're doing cost segregation to accelerate your depreciation deduction and all these other fancy tax loopholes and strategies, you would never pay a dime, a penny in real estate taxes, or a penny in income taxes on your real estate. I'm sorry for twisting that. You would never pay taxes using the strategy, ever. And if anybody tells you will, come see me, and I'll tell you you won't. And if the IRS wants to fight you, I'll be there with you. You can even sell the home tax-free using something called a homeowner's exclusion, a 1031 exchange, a like-kind exchange, an opportunity zone, charitable remainder trust or charitable LLC, installment sale. There's so many ways to sell real estate tax-free that in real estate, most of my clients, they never have to pay a penny in income taxes on their real estate because of these benefits and loopholes. Real estate is the most. Why do you think I love real estate so much? It's because it's extremely powerful, and it is the best tax strategy I've ever seen in my life. I love the permanent life insurance, but man, real estate, that's where it's at. You have to get in. You have to get in this game. You just have to get in. I'm telling you. But So you can continue doing that, and then keep in mind that depreciation of the cost will more than likely offset any income you earn on a property. On paper, depreciation is not something you pay for technically. It's just a paper figure to the IRS that allows you to write things off. So that's definitely something you want to do. Now let's look at another way to live a tax-free wealth or tax-free retirement. Is you can shift income to other people, your family, loved ones, or things of that nature. So what you can do here is you can set up business entities and have your income shielded in them. So you can set up LLCs and all that stuff, and your income would be shielded essentially in these companies. You can turn your kids into owners of your company, so you can shift income to them, to their tax return. And then you can put certain investments in their name so that the gains won't be taxed, at least at your higher ordinary income tax rate. So powerful strategy. You're just changing ownership, and you're transferring the wealth quicker. So wealth transfer is also a very big and important thing to consider as you continue your business ventures and your wealth building strategies. You can shift the income to your beneficiaries or your dependents, people who rely on you, people who you care about, all that good stuff. You can even do this with your parents, which, I mean, parents usually not really recommended, but you can shift income to their tax return, assuming they're in a lower bracket than you are. It only really works if somebody's in a lower bracket than you are. Ensure that there's a mutual understanding, extremely important. Please ensure that there's a mutual understanding between the parties to avoid any legal or financial issues in the future. For example, if you are going to gift 50% of a company to your child, make sure that child knows, one, and then two, just make sure that the child understands the responsibilities associated with this ownership transfer. Sometimes it's nothing, but they need to understand. Stop hiding things for your family. It doesn't make any sense, especially these are loved ones. If anything, put it in trust. A trust is saying, hey, it's not that I don't necessarily trust you, but I have a trust fund that I can trust so that everything will go smoothly in case there are any disagreements. I mean, everything that you own should be in a trust, right? So that way they're not screwing you over. So very, very important to implement a strategy like that. Now, another way is trust funds, like we were just talking about. Trust funds and good estate planning. You need to have a good estate plan. Estate planning is what happens after your death, God forbid. But money that goes to beneficiaries are never taxed. So you can pass assets tax-free to beneficiaries. Now, your estate might be taxed, but there are ways to avoid estate tax by using trust. You can let your retirement accounts grow until you die, basically, and then pass it to your kids tax-free. There's a thing called step-up in basis. Basically, when you buy something and you sell it, the cost, quote-unquote, taxable cost becomes the sale price of the building. So the sale price equals the cost, meaning there's a zero tax effect on that. So you could have depreciated the bare bones of this building, and it still gets a step-up in basis, which is crazy. Crazy stuff. There's no what's called income recapture or anything like that, or depreciation recapture. I mean, it is very, very powerful stuff. So you want to build wealth until the day you die. And even when you die, you want to continue building wealth and passing on a legacy from generation to generation. That's how it should be. Read the Bible. The Bible even says this, is that one should build a legacy. One should live abundantly. One should be passing things down from generation to generation. If you don't do these things, you leave your family poor. You'll leave them in bad shape. So we have to continuously build this wealth each and every day. It is extremely important that we do this for our families. And then another thing to note too is you can set up a trust fund and have the income and the principal pass to your kids tax-free. Principal is usually called corpus. Not to say that you're dead or anything like that. It was just a word that came out of it. I believe it's a Latin word for principal. And then you can gift appreciated assets to your favorite charities, such as this radio station, WGHC 98.3 FM, Your Voice of Music, Your Station, which is a not-for-profit 501c3 organization. So all donations are fully tax deductible. You can make a donation via WGHCFM.org. Last but not least, become an investor. Very important. Investors receive significant favorable tax treatment because you're growing the economy. You're adding to the GDP of the U.S. or anywhere in the world that you decide to produce your income in. So investors benefit tremendously from a tax standpoint and a financial standpoint. Some investment income can be shielded from taxes by taking advantage of what's called long-term capital gains tax rates, which are essentially lower than your ordinary income tax rates. You can shift your ordinary income into passive income and have your passive real estate losses offset your passive income. Let me repeat that in case you didn't get it. You can shift your ordinary income into passive income, so you become a passive owner of the business, right? Meaning you're not doing the day-to-day, you hire some people to do all the work. And then you can have your passive real estate losses offset your passive income. So you're basically paying no taxes. Real estate usually generates a loss on paper. And you can have your investment passed down to your kids, and they would get it tax-free. So to conclude here, there are plenty of ways to build wealth tax-free. Taxes are typically a person's single biggest expense. In the U.S., the average tax rate is 60%. Imagine 60% of your budget going to taxes. That is very dangerous. The highest tax rate in the U.S. was 94% back in 1944. So this stuff is very important. You really, really need to pay attention to taxes. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to love it. You don't have to do it as much as I do. This is my profession. This is how I live, eat, breathe, and sleep. So you have to really, really, really pay attention to the tax game. And then also, always seek the help of a tax professional. Don't go out and try to do this on your own. If you want to do it the smart way, the right way, you need to start paying professionals, right? That's how you get things done. Make sure they are legitimate. They have integrity. They know what they're doing. They have some level of experience, and they can take great care of you. So you need to factor in all of these things. You can, of course, utilize my firm. We are a full-service tax firm. We do tax preparation, tax planning, and tax representation for individuals and businesses across all 50 states in the U.S. Currently, and we operate in about 10 different countries as well. So we can assist you with all your tax needs. We can do some tax planning. That's our #1 service in the firm. Of course, we can help you file your tax return. It is indeed tax season. The reason why we're talking so much taxes on the radio is because it's tax season, and we just need to get into the spirit of taxes. So this whole month, you'll probably hear a series of tax topics. We'll shake it up. We'll repurpose the content. Some of it might sound familiar to what you've heard last year, but we always repurpose the content to add more relevant examples and update you with things that have been happening. Be sure to talk to an attorney when setting up your business entities and your trusts and your legal affairs. Please, you have to make sure, this is not worth anything if you're doing it wrong. So what I just told you was the strategies themselves. I didn't say how. I said what, and I said why. I didn't say how. So the how is up to you, right? This is where you go out and seek a professional. The how is where you reach out. You visit BaduTaxServices.com. You schedule a free 30-minute consultation. That's the how. And I will tell you what you need to do in order to get these things in place. It's very important. As minorities, we're often known to let these things slip through the cracks. The next thing you know, our family is in jeopardy, and we're in financial distress. We're worrying about paying for your funeral instead of celebrating your death because you brought a tremendous amount of wealth into the family. Right? That's the legacy that I think you really want to be known for. You don't want to be known as the guy who put a burden on their family because they weren't paying attention to this stuff. Anybody can do this stuff. This is not just you. This is not just me. Anybody who's listening right now can do this. It doesn't matter what struggles you've been through in life. I've been through struggles. I could have easily complained, made excuses, and said, I give up. But I kept pushing. I looked to my God, and he showed me a way. You know, so ultimately, you really, really have to pay attention whenever we're presenting this information. Take notes. Recommend. Just get on your phone. Get a notepad, drawing board, whatever it is. Take notes. Take notes of some of the stuff that I talk about. You go on the website jeffbadu.com, and it has tons of resources on there. So if you want to pause, if you want to rewind, we have videos, audio, written, books. There's so much content. Now we have the game show. Big shout out to those that play the game show, the Money Game, Badu Edition, and tons of content. So if you say that there's not content, I'll look at you and say, well, where have you been looking? You haven't been looking in the right places, because the content is there. I can guarantee you that. Go to jeffbadu.com, and I guarantee you'll see a lot of content on there. It's all free, right? Now, if you're purchasing a book, which all the proceeds go towards the Badu Foundation, which will be launched this June, Financial Literacy Foundation for the youth and the homeless, to help them enhance their financial literacy skills. It is basically a school. It's a different type of school, though. It's a financial educational group. It's an abundance building group that we'll have. So ultimately, we have to be like, this is 2020. It's a brand new year. I know we just got past the first month. It's a brand new year. Do something different in your life today, not tomorrow, not 2 weeks, because you'll forget about this. Everything you just listened to right now, you're about to forget about it in 2 weeks. So you really need to make sure that you are taking advantage of this information, right? You really need to make sure you're taking advantage of this. So with that being said, that's pretty much the segment. Thank you guys for tuning in. In the future, if you have any questions, you can post it on the Facebook Live. You're live right now on Facebook on my page. I'm Jeff Badu Wealth Multiplier. You can call into the studio line 773-942-7167. Once again, 773-942-7167. You can ask any question you want. You can visit my personal website, jeffbadu.com. That's where I share all the resources and everything like that. It's free. You can call me, 773-679-7198. Once again, 773-679-7198. You'll notice that there's a lot of media push out there right now. We're blasting out content like crazy. So you'll probably see me on your timeline for the next, for quite some time, actually. Especially if you're following this page. So, yeah, you can email me. All my contact information can be found on jeffbadu.com. I'd love to help you. We're having an abundance workshop Wednesday night, 6 to 6:30 via Zoom. You can reach out to me for more details on that. Just teaching you the 12 steps to create abundance. My third book, the Infinite Expansion, is coming out this year. So that book is coming out this year. It's a book about my purpose and really how to live, how to create, not how to live, how to create an abundant lifestyle. So I'll be teaching the principles of that. And I think it will be a New York Times bestseller book. I really poured my heart and soul into that book. Of course, the 2 books are out. The Legendary Asset, 6 Reasons Why You Should Own Real Estate. The 7 Figures, How to Become a Millionaire. That's also out. Feel free to purchase it on jeffbadu.com. All proceeds go towards the Badu Foundation to sponsor the scholarships that will be given to the youth, and the stipends will be given to the homeless as well. So with that being said, thank you guys for tuning in to WJC 98.3 FM, your voice, your music, your station. My name is Jeff Badu, and I look forward to continuously delivering you all some content. Thank you.
December was a dreadful day. Thousands disappear, but some man of them a cheer. Some mistake me for you, let me burn them up, burn them up. I see them from far. If a quake a fight for them, a come and run, we run with it. Oh, we no need them, we no give them no blood.